Hello and welcome to Meritstore's course on HTML. This is going to be a very beginner level course. So let us start with Introduction to HTML. So before we start with HTML, we need to know certain basic web terminologies like what is a website, web page, web browser and web server. I'm sure that you have heard of this, but let us look at each of it and understand what these are. So a web page is a single page on the internet. It is identified using a URL. So to your right you can see a single page which shows all the engineering courses. So this single document is a web page and it is identified using a URL. A website is a collection of such web pages. So this is the home page of meritstore.in. From here you can visit other web pages which are mentioned over here. So you can see 4 web pages mentioned over here. You click and you visit those web pages. So a website is a collection of web pages. So meritstore.in is a website and under it there are many other smaller web pages. So a collection of web pages is a website. A web browser. What is a web browser? A web browser is an application used to display web pages. We will be looking at its working in detail in the next slide. But until then, you have already used a web browser, definitely. As you can see, Google Chrome, Opera, Firefox, Internet Explorer, all these are web browsers. All of these will receive HTML data, HTML document from the web server and convert it into a viewable web page like this one. This is the home page of the website, and a website is a collection of web pages. And in order to view these web pages, you need a web browser. Next is the web server. Web server is a machine or computer on which HTML documents are stored. So client, in this diagram, client is your machine and web server is another computer on which a website is stored. As a client, the web browser takes care of your communication with the server. Web browser sends a HTTP request. HTTP is a protocol. We'll be looking at it in more detail ahead in the course, but currently it is just a protocol that is used to serve HTML. So the client sends a HTTP request, the server responds with a response. So for example, you're searching something on Google. Suppose you type www.google.com. So that is a HTTP request that your web browser sends to the server. The server, Google's server, then responds you with a HTML page. And then your browser receives that HTML. Then your web browser will convert it into a website, into a web page. It will display you a web page like this. So that is the whole idea behind client and server. So web server is a computer or machine that stores web pages and serves them through internet on request. So what is HTML? As you saw in the previous diagram, the client sends a HTTP request, the server responds with an HTML page. This HTML page is then converted by the browser into something which is viewable like this. So we have to learn how to write this HTML document. It follows a particular syntax, a particular language, which we'll be learning in detail in this course. And this course is at the beginner's level. You need not have any prior knowledge. We'll start from the very basic level. I hope in this lesson, in this video, you have understood the basic terminologies. That is, what is a web page? A web page is a single page, a single HTML document. A website is a collection of many such web pages. A web browser is used to display the web page. It receives HTML document from the web server and converts it into something which is easily viewable by users. And now, what is HTML? The full form of HTML is Hypertext Markup Language. It is a markup language for creating web pages. We'll be learning this language, and when we learn this language, we'll be creating a HTML document and then we'll be opening it up using a web browser. HTML basically defines structure of a web page. Like for example, look at this web page. It has a structure. Here is the logo. Here we have a small menu. Here we have login. All of this is a structure. You will understand what I'm talking about in the future lectures. But for now, just remember that HTML defines the structure of the page. So let us summarize the whole video again. So we started with very basic web terminologies which you may already be aware of. A web page, a website, web browser, and a web server. And then what is HTML? And from the next lecture onwards, we'll start with your first HTML document.